Today's tip is to schedule out your time. This is going to help you feel a lot more organized in the world of online classes. Try to wake up and go to bed at approximately the same hour and eat your meals at around the same time every day. For classes that have a scheduled time that they run, so live classes, try to set an alarm so that you make sure you don't miss any of those. For classes that don't have a scheduled time, so your pre-recorded lectures, try to give yourself a designated time throughout the week to watch these lectures as if it was a scheduled class. We've all been in this situation where we're trying to cram our notes the night before our exam. Cramming your lectures is an entirely different game, so just avoid that situation altogether and space out your lectures throughout the semester. Overall, keeping a nice schedule is going to keep you organized and help you stay on top of all your work throughout the semester and really help you succeed with online classes. It's really important to make sure that you have a designated workspace. This could be any table, counter, or desk in your living area, but make sure that it's designated for you to only do your work at and that you do all of your work in this space. It's especially important that you make sure that you're not using your bed to get your classwork done. This is because your brain makes associations, so if you have a designated space that's just for working, you'll stay more focused and be more attentive to the task at hand. You want to maintain the same levels of engagement that you would have in your in-person classes when you transition to having them online. So if you ever have any questions during class, feel free to ask your professor through any mechanisms that are available to you. If your professor has office hours, take advantage of them. And if you ever have any questions or concerns, email your professor directly. This helps to make sure that you have a really good, thorough understanding of the material, and it also helps to create a good connection with your professor. So overall, try to maintain the same levels of engagement that you would have in person when you're doing them online. There are different reasons why you might want to keep your webcam on or off during your online classes. One of the reasons to keep it on is that it helps to provide accountability for you, to keep you focused during your online classes. If you know that you can see your professor and your professor can see you, you're more likely to stay focused and take better notes during class. It can also provide a level of human interaction that you might be missing out on doing your classes online instead of in person. One of the reasons to keep it off is that can help with Zoom fatigue, which is when you do too many video calls and it becomes really exhausting. It can be nice for your mental health to take a break from having the camera on you all the time. It can also help if your Wi-Fi is too slow to keep your camera off so that it can load faster. With this in mind, you should make the choice that's best for you. Every day your needs are going to change a bit. Some days you might be too tired for the webcam, and other days you might think that it's really important to keep it on. So just make sure that you're making the best choice for your needs. I know that it's really tempting to stay in your pajamas when you're doing online classes, but it's really important that you get up and get dressed. This is going to help you feel more motivated, more awake, and really just help you start your day off on the right foot. If you treat your online classes the same way that you treat your in-person classes, it'll be a much easier time for you. This way, you'll get to keep those routines that you've spent the last years building up. So my tip for you today is to get dressed for class. Try to avoid typing your notes and instead write them by hand during online classes. This helps for a number of reasons. Firstly, it's a lot easier to just have your lecture on the screen instead of splitting it between your lecture and then your notes document. To have your notes physically in front of you makes it feel a lot more organized. Secondly, it helps you to be able to take better notes that you're actually going to be able to remember better later on. So when you're writing them by hand, they stick in your brain a lot easier, which is really going to help you on your tests and exams. Lastly, it's really great because it gives you a screen break later on. So when you're revising your notes, you're not going to be on the computer like you are all the time for classes, and you actually just get to look at a physical document. It helps you from getting headaches and it gives you a nice break from your screen. Overall, try to avoid typing your notes and instead write them by hand. Today's tip is to revise with a group. So try to put together a group of people from your classes or a group of your friends, and at the end of the week, you can all talk about what it is that you learned that week. This is really great because it provides a lot of accountability for everybody that's involved to help them stay on top of their work and keep up to date with their classes. It's also really great because it provides a lot of the social aspect that you're missing out on doing your classes online as opposed to being in person. Lastly, it creates a really good support system for everyone involved to make sure that there's somebody that's always checking up on you. Overall, revising with a group is a really great way to succeed with online learning. It can be hard to step away from the computer when it feels like our whole lives are contained within that screen as we work from home, but it's really important to remember to take screen breaks. Try not to move from one screen to another. So if you're taking a break from typing your essay, don't just scroll through your phone. The blue light from our screens can be harmful to your eyes. So if you're getting a headache or if your eyes are feeling strained, that is a sign that you need to step away from your screen for a second. Try to take about 20 minutes to rest. You could be reading a book, you could be going for a walk outside, you could take a nap, or really do anything just to get away from the screen. There are also blue light filters that you can use to lessen the effects. Lastly, try not to be on your screen within 2 hours of going to sleep so that you can get the best rest possible. So always remember to take a break from your screen whenever possible. It's really important when doing online classes to make sure that you take a second to reset. This could be physically or it could be mentally. So ways to reset your body physically would be getting up, taking a stretch, making sure that you're not sitting too long in the same position. If you could every hour, try to walk around for a bit, at least a few minutes. Make sure that you're giving your body the time it needs to make sure that it's not getting stuck in the same position. You don't want to end up with a sore back or sore legs just sitting down all day. You also need to reset mentally for your mental health. So this could come in the form of meditation, it could come in the form of talking to friends, or it could come in the form of just taking some me time and some downtime to relax after doing their classes. When it comes to online classes, the most important thing is to remember to keep a good balance of doing your work and taking care of yourself.